Hi, my name is Fran Harrison and I'm a licensed therapist, and I want to talk about the new season of In Treatment. When I found out that Uzo Aduba was going to be the new therapist, I thought this would be a pretty cool opportunity to talk about African American therapists, what therapy is really like versus what it's like on TV, and just any other thoughts that come to mind. So I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about it. So for one, first sessions are usually pretty boring, so I know that they probably would not want to put on TV the way the first sessions are. The first sessions can be a lot of paperwork. What school do you go to? What grade are you in? When, if there's a parent involved, when did they first start talking? When did they first start walking? Tell me about your pregnancy. So I understand what HBO was doing there. They had to kind of fast forward a little bit through some of the first session. Some clients may feel like they're not getting what they need in that first session, but it's really about building rapport and us finding out what is going to be your main issue and what issues have you had in the past. So I can get that. I can give them a few points for that. They can let that part slide. The character that's in the show is named Laila, and her grandmother is bringing her in because she says, well, my granddaughter has chosen to be a lesbian. And so the therapist, who is named Brooke, is saying that this is not going to be conversion therapy. So this brings up a realistic topic that sometimes the guardian or parent in the situation has a goal, and then the client has a goal, and then the therapist may have a goal. So it's tough because as therapists, we really don't need to be the ones who have the goal and decide this is the way I think the client should act. This is what I think they should do. It's best when it is a collaboration, that everyone's working together. And sometimes it clashes. If grandmother's wanting one thing, grandmother may want the character Laila to stop with that lesbian thing and to just move on and think about college. But the character Laila, at first it seems like her goal is to really not be there. She really doesn't want to do therapy, and that's a realistic thing that happens a lot of times with teenagers. A lot of times they don't want to come to therapy, so sometimes we have to find out, okay, you're here, so what can we work on since you're already here? And the character Laila says, hey, I really didn't have a choice. I have to make my grandmother happy. And so we need to find out, okay, how can we make this time productive and not just us sitting around and not doing much? And so I think a big thing that happened some was talking about being LGBTQ, but I think in that first session it would have been a good time to talk about the intersectionality between being an African American female and being a part of the LGBTQ community, because it seems like that is something that the grandmother does not want. But I was a little surprised at the topic coming up. I'm not sure if Laila is telling the truth when she says that she is a sex addict, but I did feel like the therapist character, Brooke, I felt like she went into that a lot, asking a lot of questions of, do you masturbate, and that kind of thing. Usually that first session is rapport building, rapport. And I'm guilty of wanting the client to open up immediately. I'll admit that, guilty as charged. But in that first session, some, especially teenagers, they really don't even feel comfortable telling you a lot of things, much less of, do you masturbate, and all of these kind of questions. And so I think thinking about what boundaries are realistic for a therapy session. There are some clients who are going to open up and spill their guts as soon as they get there. There are some that's going to take 2 or 3 sessions for them to talk.